As we go on the air at 4, severe storms blowing up across western and southern portions of our viewing area. Here's a live look from our camera in Arnold. We have received reports of golf ball-sized hail in Herman, Missouri, and also Scott Connell, our weather team, tracking any possible tornadoes in the area. We are in storm alert, and we have a tornado warning in effect for parts of western St. Charles County. Thanks for being here. I'm Kay Quinn.
And I'm Brent Solomon. Now, this severe weather could actually bring tornadoes, as well as that destructive hail that you just heard about, even to the St. Louis area. We have team coverage for you at this hour. We want to get right now to our chief meteorologist, Scott Connell, who is tracking the storm minute by minute.
Yeah, and Tracy Henson's out in the storm tracker. Gary Frank is here with me in studio. We continue to track these storms. Again, we have a tornado warning that continues for western portions of St. Charles County, extreme eastern portions of Warren County right now for that cell that has shown signs of rotation and has shown the potential of producing a tornado. We've also seen large hail with not only that storm, but the other storms you're seeing on your screen from western portions of now into Monroe County, Illinois, new severe thunderstorm warning, back out towards Hillsborough and Jefferson County, and then northern and central portions of Washington County, Crawford County in Missouri, and up into Pike County in Illinois. Obviously, we're going to focus on what the biggest threat seems to be, and that would be where we have our tornado warning. Right now, far eastern portions of Warren County, right along and just south of 70 is where we're looking at this storm that's causing the problems. I'm going to add the velocity in here. You know, there is a bit of a circulation here approaching the Pauldingville area. So again, that's why we want you to be in your safe place. That circulation has passed now the area in and around Innsbrook. So Innsbrook, back to the west towards Warrenton, you're out of the warning, it's not a problem. If you are in Pauldingville, you need to be in your safe place right now. And we're going to get a little tighter in here so you can really see some of the places where this circulation might be as we go through time.
Jefferson County now.
Jefferson County gone with a tornado warning?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go back out to that. So new tornado warning for Jefferson County. Again, if you're along here, Highway N, Highway Z out here into St. Charles County, south of Highway 70 between Wentzville and Forestel. Yeah. You need to be in your safe place now. Let's go farther south and we'll take it down here to Jefferson County. We are seeing now just upgraded a tornado warning here that does include the Hillsborough area at this point. So the storm hail is north of Hillsborough. The circulation potentially is just off to the west or southwest of Hillsborough. And Gary was talking about this a few minutes ago. You can see there's circulations in here. There's rotation in the storms. The question is, how tight does it get and if it's able to drop a tornado? Those are answers we don't know. But we also know that this area south of St. Louis is a more favorable area. What we've been looking at is some of the indices that we look at to detect the potential for tornadoes and how much energy, how much available instability, how much wind shear, all of the indices that we look at are kind of off the scale here, just to the south of St. Louis. So now a tornado warning is in effect in Jefferson County and especially central portions of Jefferson County. So let's track that one out, and doing that at about 40 miles per hour. The potential of where that circulation is and where it's going, it'll be pushing towards Festus. So Gary, the timing on this, Mappaville here in the next couple of minutes, Peevely about 4:16. So, you know, the circulation's back here just to the west of Hillsborough. It'll be working its way towards the east. This is a big impact. 55 going southbound here. We're picking up the rush hour around St. Louis. So that's going to be a problem. This heavy rain, hail, maybe up to golf ball size hail with this storm, and that circulation with a potential tornado. Eventually it crosses the river, heads towards Valmeyer at about 4:26, and then on to the east across eastern portions of Monroe County. Now, if you're out ahead of this storm, you have time. In fact, any of these storms, if you're ahead of them and you live, say, in a mobile home, you might want to go ahead and give yourself a 15-20 minute trek here to scoot somewhere where you can find some safer, more substantial shelter at this point. So tornado warning, and you see the lightning that's really kicked up down there across central portions of Jefferson County. That's what that tornado warned storm there for the Hillsborough area, and that tornado's down in Imperial as well as Peevely and Festus.
Tracy's down there if we want to see what she's
Let's
doing.
see what
because
Tracy
I know
has.
she's specifically right near Barnhart, so we might want to check in with her and see what it looks like. I bet the weather tracker looks pretty good.
Tracy, what do you have?
Yeah. Hi, Scott and Gary. Okay, so really right now just a lot of dark, heavy clouds. Currently our camera is pointed south along Interstate 55 towards Barnhart and Peevely. The main heart of that system, though, as you can see, is further down to the south. We've got our tornado warning going off right now, so we are pulling off. But one thing I do want to show you as we make our way to a gas station is just how many cars are headed right into this storm. You can see that right now. So a lot of people are probably just about to get those warnings on their phone, and it is busy along Interstate 55 right now. So if you do know anybody who is traveling this way, give them a call. They'll want to know about that storm.
All right, so that is in Jefferson County, and that's where Tracy is right now, kind of staying ahead of the storm. And you can see the ominous skies that we're looking at there. Trying to see if I can get the camera up from Jefferson College. It is not coming up for me at this moment in Hillsborough, but no doubt it is dark and somewhat scary there, as it should be with this type of storm moving in. What we've seen throughout the course of this last hour or so is the rapid development of these storms moving to the east. So let's just go through where the warnings are, and then we're going to hone in. First of all, the 2 tornado warnings. We have 2 tornado warnings, and in these cases, you need to be in your safe place right now. That's central portions of Jefferson County from about Hillsborough off to the east. The storm circulation is pretty close to Hillsborough. You see how bright and white it got there just in the last few frames of that? That's a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, often an indicator that the storm is intensifying. Still a tremendous amount of cloud-to-ground lightning with that storm coming into western St. Charles County. I think it's safe to say that if you're in Warren County, if you're west of Forestell, now your threat of severe weather has come to an end as that's pushing into western portions of St. Charles County. We have severe thunderstorm warnings up in Pike County, severe thunderstorm warning farther south with those storms down in Washington and Crawford County as well. Hail is the main threat with those, but also those storms will likely start rotating here very soon. Most populated area under a tornado warning right now is the Wentzville area. That circulation doesn't really look as impressive as it did, but
immediately hit the deck for the loose ball. This is
but it is coming into this area here just west of Wentzville and just south that circulation is. And the tornado warning will be extended into much of the rest of St. Charles County. So they're going to extend this, and that means that includes O'Fallon. So right now the circulation southwest of Wentzville, tornado warning is coming for much of the rest of St. Charles County. You need to be in your safe place. Again, this is going to be tracking along and just south of 70 for much of the next half hour to 45 minutes or so, which will place this storm in places like O'Fallon. It'll place it into St. Peter's. Darden Prairie, also looking at that circulation heading in your general direction, maybe into Cottleville, but odds are it's going to be just a little north of Cottleville as time goes on. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings continue to be across the area. Tornado warning is in the process of getting extended for this storm here that is right now working its way through Wentzville. I want to see if we can get, try this very quickly, flipping it over to the velocity mode. And I may be able to get it, Gary. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but
okay.
we're gonna try this. I just want to see what it looks like from the terminal Doppler radar. And it's not going in there. Let's see. Pop it in, and let's see if we can make it move. Well, we did not do that. So, anywho, Gary, it didn't work for me, but they're extending that warning out there in St. Charles County. At least that's what they've just told us on NWS chat. Half-inch hail at the GM plant in Wentzville. Again, the larger hail has been generally right along 70, and it looks like it's kind of shifting now to go up on the north side of 70 up towards Josephville and St. Paul for your larger hail. That's where the hail core is. Then the circulation is back here that is very close to Wentzville and will probably pass awfully close to the 4064 interchange there and Highway Z. You've got the cinemas out there. You know, that whole area of Wentzville is so built up out there by Highway Z, an incredible amount of population that has moved into St. Charles County, and that area under a tornado warning that's going to get extended a little farther to the east. We check in on the storm to the south. Again, a tremendous amount of lightning here. Looks like that rotation perhaps has moved a little farther off to the east. Let's scan that. Looks like now we're talking about that rotation sliding in east of Hillsborough and pushing on from there. So gusty winds, some circulation in here. You see the reds and the greens showing up on your screen. That's the towards and away from the radar site. These are the storms that we are most concerned about, the ones that have that rotation in them, and a tornado warning in effect here across Jefferson County. And if you're in Nappaville, over towards Peevely, over towards Festus, any of this area that's in that stretch of 55 and out towards State Highway Z here in Jefferson County, you need to be in your safe place at this point. Hail, some gusty winds, and potentially the circulation indicating the possibility of a tornado there. Severe thunderstorms also across much of Washington and into Crawford County. So we have the warnings there as they continue to intensify, and additional warnings farther to the north with those storms up into portions of Pike County, Missouri. Here is your supercellular storm that's working its way in the Wentzville area. Rotation with this, some hail with this. It's getting pretty close to the radar site, so they're getting some low-level scans of that right now. But the anticipation was, as of a few minutes ago, that they were going to extend that warning further into St. Charles County here over the next few minutes.
Yeah,
and there it is.
There it is.
So it does include Cottleville. It basically includes from Highway 40 and 94 north, and it does include a small chunk of right now Calhoun County up just south of Grafton, and also a chunk of St. Louis County.
Some of these areas
yeah.
which had a tornado warning at 7 o'clock this morning, so they're hearing the sirens for the second time today.
Yeah, and the thing that's different with this, Gary, as this storm tracks off to the east, the biggest difference with this is this morning's storms, they were producing spin-up tornadoes that are very small, very brief. They don't last very long, and the damage because of that is fairly limited. In this particular case, you have supercell thunderstorms that the whole storm in and of itself is rotating. So the environment's more favorable for a tornado to drop out of that storm and stay on the ground for a longer period of time, in addition to being more capable of producing that large hail, perhaps up to the size of quarters, up to golf balls, that sort of thing. So this new tornado warning includes much of St. Charles County, the northern portions of St. Louis County, and a small southern tip here of Jersey County. I should say Calhoun County. It just stops short of the Jersey County border. So the storm's coming in towards O'Fallon and St. Paul right now. The worst of this is probably going to track right along and just north of Highway 70 based on its current track. That'll take it towards 370 Lakeside Park. Big campground there. If you're in that area, you need to find more substantial shelter, okay? You've got a few minutes before it gets there. That is right in this area, so you got about 5 minutes or so. There's a gas station just out of there and across the street. You can also go into the shelters that are there. They have, you know, the office, and then you have some bathhouses out there as well. But that's a place that is of concern right now. If you're in a mobile home, we have some mobile home parks that are along and just south of Interstate 70 or just north of Interstate 70. You need to be in a more substantial building for the duration of this storm. And you have a few minutes in St. Peter's, you have a few minutes over towards St. Charles to get to a more substantial shelter. But if you're out in this area right now, very close to O'Fallon, just north of Darden Prairie, you need to be in your safe place now. That's in the basement. You want as many walls between you and the outside as possible if you don't have a basement. So interior rooms like hallways, closets, that's the safest place to be. Now, if we put a track on this storm and just give you some cities here, let's just track where the circulation we believe to be is. Pretty close to O'Fallon right now. And I know we're kind of doing a smaller track, but these are the areas where we would be most concerned with the potential for a tornado. And that does include, especially on the north side of St. Peter's, into the city of St. Charles, especially on the north side of St. Charles, and then over towards Florissant and over towards Blackjack. So North St. Louis County, St. Charles County, tornado warning in effect right now. And these dangerous storms with rotation and radar indicated rotation are moving to the east. We also have a pretty good sized storm blowing up over downtown St. Louis. And then we go to the south and we have your intense thunderstorms that have prompted a tornado warning across parts of Jefferson County now. So it looks like that circulation probably in this area just to the west of Festus and near Mappaville right now. So that's okay. Yeah, you've got a couple of photos?
Yeah, we're getting some photos now. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some of those. We'll check back in with you, Scott. We're getting these images in from viewers at home right now. David Primo in Hillsboro, Missouri shared this with us. This was just before 4 o'clock. Take a look at the sky right there, the dark sky over the homes there. The dark cloud actually billowing above houses in in Hillsboro, Missouri. Thank you, David Primo.
And we're taking a look at some viewer photos from Warrenton. Pretty major hail there right now. Kelly Chandler Pruitt shared this with us. Look at the size of that, and it's accumulating quite a bit as well. We also had reports of golf ball sized hail out of Herman, Missouri earlier, and also looking at half-inch hail in parts of Wentzville. So this is just a sampling of what's going on in such a broader area that, you know, thanks to our viewers, if you can safely take a photo and pass it along, that's great, but don't put yourself in danger. If you are in an area where there is a tornado warning right now, you need to be away from windows. So just be careful as you take these photos and send them our way.
These images really giving you a real perspective of exactly what Scott and our weather team are telling you about right now. You'll want to be very careful and be mindful of what's happening as we speak.
All right, let's get back.